And people know that we're building it the right way. We're in it for the long haul, and that comes with expansion, and it comes with incremental growth, and it comes with the opportunity to bring our great game to our fans on incredible platforms.
That was UFL CEO Russ Brandon in June. And before the first week of August was wrapped, we saw reports of all 4 USFL conference teams on a relocation list, the announcement of Columbus into the UFL, as well as historic Crew Stadium becoming that team's home field, and the hiring of billionaire Mike Repole as part of an expanded ownership group. So indeed, everything was on the table for the UFL to address some changes for year 3 of the league. Let's talk about some other changes the league could entertain. Maybe not, but we can dream. With relocation in the works, this change might have to wait. There are always obstacles with spring football, like holidays and weather issues, but I think the league could benefit from an earlier start, much like the 2023 XFL schedule. The draft was held in November, training camp started in January, and the league kicked off in mid-February, ending with a championship game in mid-May. Why not use that schedule and position the players for an even better opportunity to recover and get into an NFL training camp? Or, I'll even take it a step further. What if the league kicked off January 30th? Now, stay with me here. That's the off week of the NFL before the Super Bowl. Not much competition from Pro Bowl activities or really college basketball at that time. Your first slate of games would be Friday the 30th, Saturday the 31st, then Sunday, February 1st. Then you can do the same the following week, games on Friday and Saturday. And how about this? A noon Eastern time kickoff before the Super Bowl. Don't you think more people would watch, or at least have in the background of their Super Bowl party, a football game rather than 6 hours of pregame hype, or, and no offense here because I watch them as well, the Puppy Bowl or the Kitten Bowl? I'm all for starting the season earlier, and there is this talk about football fatigue, but it didn't seem to be a thing with the Alliance of American Football. The AAF kicked off the week after the Super Bowl, and then between regional broadcasts of the San Diego Fleet at the San Antonio Commanders and the Atlanta Legends at the Orlando Apollos, the AAF games averaged nearly 3 million viewers. The league was going up against the NBA on NBC, which got an average of just over 2.5 million viewers. Some critics might chalk that up to the novelty of a new league at the time, while the UFL is entering Season 3 and coming off falling ratings from Season 2. But maybe striking while the iron is hot in the coldest time of the year for some parts of the country could be the way to go. Okay, here's a change that hurts me to even say, so I'm going to let the graphic do the talking. Maybe it's time to move on from history and let the UFL create its own. Let's leave the XFL and USFL behind. There are reports the league is willing to do away with the XFL and USFL branding. I was happy to see after the merger that the league kept those brands alive by using those as conference names, but honestly, in retrospect, I think it created more confusion than clarity. Some casual fans thought the conference names were the names of the league, and the biggest fumble of the whole thing was putting a former XFL team in the USFL conference for some reason. I think the time has passed, sadly, for the worthiness of the XFL and USFL monikers. Okay, the UFL HQ is in Arlington, Texas, where all the teams are housed until they fly out to their respective homes for game day. But Scott Adamson from AdamsonMedia.com, it's one of the best sources for all football history, by the way, has some ideas that you might think is nuts.
Right, Scott. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Remember the Spring League? They played in a hub, no city names, just team names. Adamson suggests that if the UFL decided that ticket sales were a lost cause, the UFL could adopt the TSL format and just play in a central location. As Adamson says, the key would be to promote the players' personalities and come up with some cool logos for merchandise for the TV audience. No travel expenses for the league means more profit. Another suggestion Adamson had was to adopt what the Premier Lacrosse League did in its early days and take all the teams to a rotating central location each week. So you have the opportunity for a doubleheader each weekend in different cities, along with the TV production to go with it. Now, there would be some major pushback from the folks in St. Louis, where spring football is actually working and working well. But with 2 capital investment firms and a sovereign fund, part of the UFL ownership, the cost analysis might lead them into looking as maybe this would be a way to go. Now, Adamson stresses those ideas are products of his imagination, and we both agree. We would love to see the UFL succeed in creating a strong league that eventually moves entire teams to their respective cities. Will we see radical change for the UFL in 2026? Maybe some of these ideas are too radical for a fledgling league, but change is definitely on the way. I'll follow it all right here and on my free Substack. Now, that comes out weekly, more or less, as Alt Football News warrants, so check that out if you want. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for Alt Football News and historic videos. Thank you for watching.